Good to be able to see you. Yeah. So hopefully you're having a very good Sunday. So I'm back from Brussels, right? I'm back from Brussels where I attended the Africa Energy Forum. It was very interesting forum, probably one of the largest with regard to the energy sector in the continent of Africa. And I thought some of you probably would have heard of it, but when may not be able to have attended. And I thought, let's give you a summary of what it is. Is it okay for you? Okay, that's great. So stay tuned. Hello, welcome again. So this is Tony Chu, the founder and CEO of Renewable in Africa. And we are your global green energy champion. What we do on a daily basis, right, is to make sure that we can simplify the energy system for you. So that if you have any question, you can ask us. Anything that you want to ask, we're here to support you, right? And we do our best to make sure that we can provide information that you need, right? So I'm sure you know about many, many companies. It's actually one of the largest, right? So I think it is the largest or one of the largest. And before we can just want to set a few things you and tell you obviously what's happening there. And I can see some people already logging in actually. That's a chance for me to say. If that's the first time joining, so what you know more is the channel that we have in share a lot of information energy sector for you. So meaning that if you're an investor and you're looking to plug in money into the sector, but you don't have the right insight, if you come into this channel and also if you look already in the video that we have, I'm pretty much sure that you're going to find a video that will be of interest for you. So if you run a business and you're saying, hey, I'm thinking about solar rooftop, right? Solutions, and I want to see whether I can install it, but I have some questions, or maybe can I have some wind in the company? By watching us, you get to understand a little bit more, and also we give you some insight, and you may also be connect with one of the program, one of the courses that we run on the side as well, right? And also, if you're a professional, right, saying that you want to jump into the sector, just like what I've done more than 10 years ago, right? So coming to Renewables in Africa channel, you also will get all the information. And what I'm asking you while we're giving you this insight is to share with us your comments, your feedback. Tell us what you think, whether you like it, you don't like it, let us know, right? And we're here to make sure that we can address it the best we can. And I'm pleased to say that today, or not only today, for a few months now, so we are broadcasting from 5 channels. Yes, 5 channels. So we have LinkedIn, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have Telegram, and we have what we have. What's the one that I've left? I'll talk about Facebook, LinkedIn, Telegram, YouTube, obviously. So the 5 platform. So if you haven't done it yet, make sure, please, that you subscribe to all these channels. And don't just subscribe to one, subscribe to all of them, so that you make sure that you clearly don't miss any of the feedback that we're giving you and any of the new update that we're giving you, right? And that's what we want to see. And if you have questions, don't hesitate to drop it, and I do my best to respond online. And I can see that some of you have already connected and saying hello. I can see, for example, Joseph Kruma from Ghana. Hey, Joseph, I think with your name, Kruma, right? Everybody would have guessed where you're coming from, right? So yeah, I'm just joking, but good to have you here. So for all the people that have already dropped a comment, so what I do, so as I'm unfolding the feedback of the conference. So I'm going to come back to that and I'm going to respond to that if that's okay with you, right? So, but just want to say I love when it's interactive, right? When I'm talking and you get asking question and I can respond to that, and I love it. Okay, that's great. So first of all, so you may ask yourself, so why would I be interested by knowing what's happening at the Africa Energy Forum? So I kind of hinted a little bit to what the reason would be, but the Africa Energy Forum is arguably one of the largest. Yeah, talking about energy in Africa, and hopefully you can trust me on that. But I'm actually on a yearly basis. I'm going to many conferences, and it's one of the few. Usually, I would say to people, you may want to go to that one because one, you have all the major stakeholders from the continent coming to this conference, right? And the one thing that really impresses me, and I have to say that, and I have to give credit to the organizer, the number of meeting rooms that are there, and those meeting rooms are full. Yes, they are very much full, meeting after meeting. So that means that a lot of deals are either get basically sealed at that conference, or maybe started, or maybe pursued at that conference, right? So that's what I'm saying. That's one of the few conferences where you have all the major stakeholders that are attending. So you want to go there. And what does that mean as well? It means that you have sort of the creme de la creme, if I can say that, from the sector, and you get a better sense as to where is that we going, what is the direction of travel, right? Especially coming from the private sector, but also the public sector. So you get a better sense. And obviously, there's usually lots of publication, a lot of people that you meet there. Clearly, I would say, so for those of you looking, if there is something that you will want to experience by yourself, I strongly would encourage that. By the way, I'm saying that I'm not being paid. Yeah, it's important to say that. I'm not being paid by the conference to say that. I'm just saying, as an insight I'm giving you, and I know there are many conferences that happen throughout the years. I'm saying, and I know if you're like me, you can't just go to all of them, right? So you have to pick and choose which one makes sense for you and which one's going to benefit you, which one's going to give you the information that you are looking for. And from that point, I'm saying that one is a very interesting one, and you may want to consider that, especially next year. The conference is going to Africa, Kenya, specifically Nairobi. I think it's something like the 25th or 23rd of June next year, right? So I mean, if you're in Kenya, hey, you're a lucky man or lucky woman. So you'll be able to go there. For others, you may want to plan ahead a year in advance, right? So that'd be good. So most likely, I'll be going as well. So yeah. So as you can say, basically, you get, like I say, um, uh, a summary, right? A good understanding of what's happening in the sector. So let me now sort of unfold to you. I have nothing to present, right? So hopefully you won't mind me, but it's just talking. So pay attention, right? And do ask questions. So from the conference point of view, first of all, the one of the highlight I can give is as usual, this conference is always well attended. Yeah, so it was it was probably the largest according to organizer this year, but clearly it was well attended. Yeah, and I'm sure they had overall more than 2,000 people turning up. Yeah, so definitely when you were inside, it was quite full. And obviously, looking at all the major names in the industry, you will find them there, right? And from that standpoint, from a networking perspective, it was definitely very good. It was definitely good as well for me, right? Because I got into a number of conversations with a few people there. And if there are some people watching me and that I've met in Brussels, I just want to say it was a pleasure to meet you, to shake hands, right? And to be able just to chit chat, right? So thank you for that. So whether you're watching live, you're watching later on. So like I said, it's really good to see that everything that we're doing, I'm not just talking to myself. Because sometimes, actually, trust me, you can feel alone, right? So, but yeah, it was good to see that I don't just talk to myself. Some people will be watching, right? So that's great. So now, so and oh, well, Patrick is saying welcome to Nairobi. So Patrick, make sure that you're there, right? So the conference. So first of all, talking about what are the priorities, right, of Africa that I gathered from the summit, right? So where is the attention of the continent seems to be focused on? So I can look at three things, yeah, that is the focus of the continent. So the first thing, it was quite clear from all the different speeches, right, and people be talking to that the continent of Africa is still sort of recovering from the 2 years of COVID. And COVID has been very, very tough on the continent. So it has been tough for all the economies, right? Because obviously, with all the lockdowns that we had around the world, as you can imagine, it's very much penalizing, right? So especially this country will obviously it depends a lot on export market, right? So that was kind of a very tough. So economies are still recovering from that, and it's going to take some time. And also because the pandemic, and we all would agree with that, we're sort of in a second phase or third phase. It depends how you call it, but it's it's a new phase of, yeah, but it's still not done over yet, right? But we're still recovering.
So the continent is very much focused into that. So that means the already, I would say, limited public funding that is available in most of the countries in Africa were dedicated to see how the economy could be supported and get things going, right? Has it had a knock-on effect on energy, especially renewables energy? Obviously, right? You would think about that. Obviously. Why? Because as you would say, so investing into renewables, so as you would imagine, would take some amount of money, right? Considerable amount of money. And with the urgency, the emergency of COVID, country have had to sort of redirect the fund where it was going, right, immediately. So this definitely has had a knock-on effect. So the continent is still pretty much recovering from that, and clearly for some country, it has sort of taken them 5 to 10 years back. Yeah, so that was quite clear, right? So I don't know what you think about that. I don't know what country you're into because I can see people from Nigeria, Kenya here represented. So did you feel it? Did you feel that in the economy? I'm sure you would have been, right? Like all of us across the globe. The second thing, it's very, very I would say linked to what's happening currently in the world is the energy crisis, that has translated into food crisis. And the trigger, or let's say the accelerator, was obviously the war in between Ukraine and Russia, right? Clearly, that has this having a big, big, big impact in terms of the inflation. Yeah. So with the obviously the price of gas oil going up, right? So that means that is driving, because as you know, usually oil and gas, it's usually a very good index to give you an idea as to what is the cost of living. It's been driving things up, right? Including driving as well the production investment costs, even for renewables energy project, right? Whether you're talking about solar and wind, and clearly that that sort of slowed down the pace of the industry. It doesn't stop it, but it slowed down the pace of the economy, and it was very, very uh, clear that people will see that. But the other knock-on effect it has had, yeah, is the fact that African leaders, and I mentioned in another video, were also quick to point out that, listen, so there may be some kind of hypocrisy here coming from the north or the Western world, whereby you have investment on fossil fuel that was meant to be stopped, but all of a sudden, because of the energy crisis that's happening, so I'm sure you would have heard that Netherlands, for example, starting back again their coal power plants. Germany will have to follow suit for sure, because obviously they have some gas supply been reduced or cut in some places. And then you also I also have heard that in the UK as well, government is thinking about giving the green light to a new coal plant project in the UK. So African leader will actually point quick to point that out, say, hey, look at what's happening. Clearly, it doesn't go unnoticed, and clearly, we got to be able as well to do what we want to do regarding our resources, right? So that's something else as well that was quite clear and perceptible, right? And then oh, Harpreet is watching. Yeah, by the way, Harpreet is a marketing manager for. Hey, Harpreet, it's good to have you. So I better watch what I'm saying right now, right? I didn't know that everybody for anything will be watching, but okay. Thanks for that, Harpreet. I appreciate that. So yeah, yes, and yeah, as usual, I had a great time. So back into what I was saying. So I was saying that yes, clearly that has had a knock-on effect into the vision of African leaders, or how they see that whole debate. And trust me, this is going to come back big time at COP27. I've mentioned that already in some of the videos. I can only reinforce it, but clearly that will be something that will be discussed. So the third thing that I can see and I can discuss as well, it's the fact that, so yes, we've had the COVID-19, yes, we've had the energy crisis, but the leaders of the continent are also looking at the other two priorities, right? So the double whammy of Africa, which is one, energy access. She's providing access to, let's say, every citizen in the continent. I would even gonna say it's still the number one priority. And then on the back of that, the energy transition, which is obviously how do we then move our power or basically our energy sector? How can we decarbonize it, move it into clean, clean power? And talking about that, the big conversation is obviously making sure that it has to be, let's say, it has to be done progressively in the case of Africa. Why? Two reasons. The number one reason is Africa is a low producer. Yeah, I wouldn't say low producer. I would say the level of emission, carbon emission of Africa is still very, very low, right, compared to the rest of the world. So I'm sure all of you will know the figure by now. We're talking about 3%, right? So I see it goes between 3 to 7%. Yeah, it depends. And based on that, though, that means there's gotta be some, I would say, different approach. So the continent just can't do what the rest of the world is doing, because in Africa we still need to have, first of all, access to power, and then looking at how we can decarbonize it, right? So that definitely was very clear. And having said that, so leaders as well are very, very keen to tap into the gas resources, right? So, and this again, it's not just unique to AEF, but I've also noticed that in other conferences that I've seen, and I've said I'm almost certain that's going to be one of the main points that the continent is going to be pushing when we're coming to COP27 in Egypt. So this is what basically, so I can see. So the 3 point that I've highlighted, just in case you've missed it. By the way, so if you like what I've said, or if you have any comments about it, just drop it in the comments. I read it, or any question about that, drop in the comment. I read it and I respond it. I respond to it, and we can discuss it, right? So yeah, you can tell me. So basically, first of all, I talked about talking about the 3 point. I talked about the fact that we're still recovering from COVID. Yeah, 2 years in, so that's still a main concern for the continent. The second thing, I talk about the fact that the energy crisis is having some major implication for the economy, right? It's even leading now to some food crisis, as we know, and food crisis, but also wake up call, because the number of, I would say, delegates I've talked to, and just like me, they were all surprised because we realize how dependent we are on Ukraine and Russia, and that's completely not not understandable, right? For the country, sorry, the continent with the largest arable land in the world, how can you be relying on somebody else to feed you? That's, I must say, it's a nonsense, right? So, like I say, any crisis is an opportunity. So I'm hoping that African leaders, Africans, whether in the country and around the world, could sit and say, hey, there's got to be something done here. We can't accept it. Nobody's asking you to take party, whether you're from Russia and Ukraine. Hey, just looking at the amount of arable land that you have, you can't let anybody else feed you. You should be feeding the other guy. And agriculture is employing, I think, if I'm correct, 60% of the workforce. That's 60% of the workforce in the country of Africa, at least, right? All of us, we all have grandparents. I certainly have, right? That was obviously living from agriculture, because I've been going to the field, to the farm, helping my grandparents back in the days, when I used to be younger. Yeah. So I'm sure many of you will share this kind of experience with me. So that's completely not understandable. There's got to be something done here, right? So clearly, yeah. So I would just say that the energy crisis leading to the food crisis has allowed people to realize this kind of issue that we're having. And the third one I mentioned is the fact that the continent still need to look at the two priorities. So I talked about the energy access, right? Still number one priority, and I talked about the energy transition. And talking about energy transition, the continent also want to use the gas resources. So this is what I've seen, right? So I don't know what you think. Do you think that that's also what you're hearing here and there? This is maybe how you're feeling as well. So do let me know. in my case, I think I gave my opinions certainly probably in other videos, because the question of gas is coming big time. So there's got to be some proper conversation around that. So to some extent, I agree that yes, we still need to have an energy mix. Nobody is denying that. So I just want to raise some kind of a little alarm here, right? So that we don't just use that as a escape door, right? Not to be able to still commit to, I would say, to clean power, right? So that's the one thing I would just want to say. But it needs to have a proper debate, right? So I'd rather just park it and say it for another time. So those are the three remarks that I can share with you. But there's another thing that I wanted to share as well. Maybe a couple of other things that I wanted to share, right? So to make it five, right? So the other thing that I could see highlight from the summit, and which for me was a great initiative, and it looks like it's definitely has picked up. It's the summit has also organized. There was a, let's say, an area called the Yes Summit. I think Youth Entrepreneurship Summit or something like that. I can't remember exactly what the definition exactly was. But in a nutshell, it was about bringing in that summit a lot of young people, entrepreneurial, so the people are doing things, basically the brightest star of tomorrow, of Africa of tomorrow, right? Coming there, taking part in the continent, and obviously sharing and sharing their ideas, you know, and also letting us know what is that they are thinking, hearing their voice. And I look at that area where there was a Yes Summit, and I felt that's how I felt. It was always, full, very much vibrant. And you could see young people were enjoying being there. And you can also see some of the, let's say, more experienced guy like me were enjoying also going there. Probably because that sort of reminds us of what we used to be. Although I'm not that old, I have to say, but still, I would say they definitely were younger than me, but I appreciate having it. And I see to make that bridge is very much important, because a lot of the issues that we are fixing now, they're going to be the one bearing the brunt of it. So having that bridge so that we can get the conversation going continuously, it's important, right? So I thought that was great. And the good thing that I've heard is that going to Nairobi, Kenya, it's going to be even bigger. Yeah. So that's another reason why you want to go there, right? So that's for me one of the biggest highlights, that spot. And I would almost suggest, so I know we don't want to copy, yeah, but I almost suggest other events, other forum to maybe think about having something similar. Okay, you may do something different. So it's exactly correct. Yes, summit, you won't do that, right? But having that conversation where we involve young people, much younger, and even sometimes people still at in high school, very important, right? Because sometimes people like you and I, we may have already some preconceived ideas, right? But people that come behind us, that may be way we can start implementing and cementing what's going to be the roadmap, the new strategy going forward. So I would advise we may want to have something like that in all the other summits going forward, right? So that was great. And the last thing before I start taking your comments, because I know I'm already over 20 minutes, right? And I still want to take your questions, is to say that talking around the various people, various company, I would say that there's a lot of attractivity that the continent has. A lot of companies already in the continent definitely want to expand because they realize that effectively Africa is a big market and many new companies will want to break into, right? And I could see and sense that there was a real desire now for companies to improve as well their communication, the way they communicate with the market, to tap into that. Because the solar market, for example, it's about 20 years old in the continent, put it that way, right? And people, when they were arriving, it was a virgin market. So anybody interested into solar will have to go and talk to those pioneers, right? And it was kind of a little bit, okay, I wouldn't say easy, a little bit easier in the sense that the competition was the one that tough, right? Because it was such a big market what you were tackling, the issue that you had at the time was pretty much the issue of opening that market, right? The pioneering issues, and that's still not negligible. But in terms of competition, it wasn't that fierce. But now, like I say, the market is evolving, becoming a lot more mature, right? So obviously, have a level of complexity that's adding, and company definitely feel that they want to communicate differently. So we had a good number of conversations with a few of these companies, and hopefully we will continue those conversations. But this is what I feel. So that means as well, if you're watching me, you're having a company, you want to break into the continent, into the sector, you want to get to know that, right? So it's not just as I say, and I've written an article about that. It was probably 4 or 5 years ago. I would say that the ask a friend approach, I personally don't think that that's a recommended one. It should not be the recommended one. What am I calling the ask a friend approach? Is the fact that let's imagine I'm a company from Canada. Hey, I want to get into Africa. I used to know somebody who's in the continent. I call him and say, hey, can you find me some project? You're gonna do a lot more work than that these days, right? So that's what I wanted to say. So when I wrote this article, maybe it was a little bit too early. I don't think it was people were really receptive to the message at the time. But I promise, I tell you right now, if you still want to approach the sector this size this way, you'll struggle. Especially, for example, in the CNI market where we also operate, because we also are a developer of clean energy solutions for businesses. Like I see, if you want to break into the CNI and just want to refer to call somebody, say, find me some project, it's way too easy. It doesn't happen like that anymore. So that is what I would say. So I'm probably going to stop here and read a comment. And if there is any question that some of you have, I'll make sure that I will respond and tap into that. But that's what I'll say. So all in all, it was definitely a beautiful, beautiful summit. One that I recommend for next year, especially is going back into Africa, because it's not always been in Africa. Last time it was in Africa, it was in Mauritius. It's now in East Africa, Kenya. So that's great, right? So you got to be there. And like I say, it's one of the few summits where you have all the main stakeholders attending, and sort of where you get a proper sense of where we at in terms of the power industry in the continent, right? So hopefully you have enjoyed. So, and if that's the case, I'm probably now going to start taking some questions, right? Okay, so let me go and read all the different reaction and pick up any comment that would be here. Yeah. So let's have a look. What do we have? Okay, we have that's only Joseph Kruma says from Ghana. Brilliant, great to have you, Joseph. Excellent. Then we have Michael. So Alemu and Michael, from Ethiopia. Yes, that's true. So definitely will love to talk to you at some point, Michael. Maybe you can inbox me so we can schedule a meeting. Because I've seen that you've been attending to a few of our live, and I'd be great to understand a little bit more about you. So Patrick from Kenya. So Patrick was the one excited. I remember because I said that AEF's coming to Kenya. I have Ayo Kunle from Nigeria. Hey, how you doing, Ayo? How is everything? So then who I have Onimisi, I guess from Nigeria as well. Camson Technologies from Nigeria. Excellent. What does Camson Technologies does? So what is that you do? So yeah, and then who do I have, right? So I have from Ghana, BSc Renewable Energy Engineering, final year. Oh, okay, you BSc, okay. You're studying, okay, excellent. So that's what I was saying. That's probably, one of our future star. Excellent. So you're doing the right thing here. So Patrick, that's the message where Patrick is saying, welcome to Nairobi, Kenya. Excellent. So we see you there next year. So Michael, Ethiopia is here as well. Absolutely. Yeah. Oh, by the way, Michael. So in the panel, because I led the panel on the last day, was talking about energy development. So how can we accelerate the growth there? So that's the CNI market. And I had a gentleman from a Ministry of Finance from Ethiopia, right? So yeah, definitely Ethiopia was well represented. That's for sure. So this is Harpreet from AEF. So it was great to welcome you, AEF Tony. See you soon. Absolutely, absolutely, absolutely great. So and then again, I have Aisha say yes, it was such a shame to be this. Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So like I said, for me, I was okay. Yes, I was shocked. I have to say that because I didn't know that. I think it's shame on us, really. Shame on us. We really can't depend on a tiny country like that to feed us. Really, shame on us, right? I think that's no excuse there. No excuse there. You can't, you can't be that dependent. Nah, that's I'm hoping there will be a Tony that will take that and sort of look at what can be done from the food industry. So, yeah. So yeah, who knows? Maybe when I'm tired of renewables energy, I go there. I'm joking. But yeah, shame on us. Jason. So Jason from Mwangaza Power Development South Africa. Hey Jason, how's it going? I think Jason, I would have had an email from you some time ago, right? I believe. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for attending. I appreciate that. So I have Adenike from MH Dev Global Limited, Nigeria. Nigeria is very well represented. Great to see you, Adenike, and thank you for connecting. Appreciate that. Yeah. So, Adenike, is there a network professional in the energy sector? Well, there are many network of professional in the energy sector, right? So, first of all, one thing I can say, if you can definitely still join our Telegram group, for example. So, renewable in Africa. So, yeah, what I'll do, I don't have the link right now, but what I do, I drop in the comment box, right? So you can definitely, when I respond to your message, so you give me a little bit of time. I drop the link there so you can connect. Anybody else want to connect, feel free to do so. So please do watch out for that, right? So good question. And but beside that, there are a load of network for professional in the energy sector. Oh, and I can even give you a hint. If you go on LinkedIn, you look in the different group that LinkedIn has, you type renewables energy, you will see their loads. They definitely load. And I know that because I've been joining a few. And even beyond LinkedIn, you can go to Facebook or all the other, even beyond social media. Yeah, they load. Yeah, but definitely at any case, I'll send you the link for our Telegram group. You could be part of it. You can contribute. We will love it, right? And make sure that if you haven't done it yet, subscribe to our various channels. So on YouTube, so look for Renewables in Africa. You find us on Facebook, yeah, on Twitter. You find us on Telegram, but also on LinkedIn, obviously. So yeah, and as I say, we're not the only one, but you have many. Yeah. So that's what I say. So Adenike is saying thank you. So yeah, thanks to you for watching us. I appreciate that. I know on Sunday you may be choosing, you could have chosen to do many things else, but you decided to be here, to listen to me. I appreciate that. Yeah. So very much of a pleasure. So I've gone through that. So excellent. Many comments. I've only seen one question from Adenike. If there is any other question, guys, so let me know. I can respond to that. Otherwise, also very happy to call you a day because we've been always already half an hour. Yeah. But and I also want to say, so if you happen to see that not live but afterward and you have a question, so drop in the comments. We still respond to that. So either me or one of my colleagues will respond to that, right? So we always will make sure that we respond to anybody's comments. So that's a policy from our company, right? And just want to say, oh yeah, one thing that for me was definitely humbling. So that's probably one of the first conferences where I went to, and I could see people start recognizing me and calling me or reaching out to me, approaching me. So that was very much humbling, and then I appreciate that. So if you're one of them and you happen to watch this, I just want to say thank you again, right? So if you haven't said so just yet, it means that, right? So as we're talking, something it's happening slowly but certainly, surely. So yeah, so yeah, I have one comment. It's always like that. Even when I want to go, there's a comment that's popping up, and even today I can see that. So Aisha saying, hopefully the African people will reunite their effort in order to become independent. Yes, true. So what I'll tell you, Aisha, and I'll say that to you and anybody watching live or even afterwards, I agree with you. However, I won't necessarily count on other people. So the best way to actually work toward this objective is to start doing something yourself if you haven't done it yet, right? What can you do to sort of move toward this objective? And imagine what if everybody is thinking this way, it then will happen, right? So yeah, that is what I would suggest, and this is the kind of thing that has animated us at Renewables in Africa to take some initiative. Yes, sometimes it doesn't work out. That's fine, right? At least you give it a go. You see what works. You carry on with that. What doesn't work, you tweak it or you stop it, and at least you've learned from it and you're going forward. So that would say I very much agree with your comment, but I will actually challenge you and invite you to go ahead and do something, right? So what can you do already? So again, you as well, when I drop the link that Adenike will have to join the Telegram, feel free to join. So feel free to add your comment and we'll love it. And feel free as well to already share this video, right? So some people that may not have had the time to watch today can watch later, or maybe can discover what we have, because we have a conversation here every Sunday, 2:30 BST time, 2:30 p.m. But also on Wednesday we have a conversation 5:30 p.m. BST time, right? So a lot of people still don't know it. Just share it, and they come to find out, and then they can come. We can have a discussion, because what I'm saying here, I very much agree with you that I don't need you to agree with everything what I say. Definitely not. In fact, I welcome discourse, right? For us to discuss and to see what is that thing, where does that thing should be going. So I'll stop it there. But thank you very much for your comment. I love it. I like when it's interactive like that. At least I can see that some people are listening, and yeah, at least it comfort me as well. So I think I've gone through the bulk of all the reactions. Yeah, I don't see any question popping up. So yes, so hopefully you've learned a thing or two about the summit that you may be joining next time. But like I said, there's many other summits as well. Again, I want to repeat, right? And Harpreet, who was here, will probably confirm that I wasn't, and I'm not paid by AEF to say that. I'm just sharing what was my highlight, because I thought it's good for everybody to understand what's happening more. Not, it's not for AEF, it's more because, as I say, that's one of the few conferences where you can get a pulse as to, you can an understanding of where we are at in Africa with regard to the power industry. Is that cool? Excellent. So, ladies and gentlemen, as always, exciting, to meet with you. So I came back very much excited, and I couldn't wait to jump on this call to tell you what I've seen. And we're again going to have many, many other conversations, right? So obviously in various different topics. If you haven't done it yet, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment, share, please share. I would appreciate that. And then and I'm hoping as well that you're going to connect next time, which is on a Wednesday, 5:30 BST time, and we're going to talk about a different topic. If you have an idea of topic that you would want me to discuss, please share it, because either we'll discuss it myself if I'm able to discuss it, or bring a guest that could be in a better position than me to discuss it, right? And also reach out to me if you want to appear on this or on this channel, on this show, to share your feedback. I'm probably gonna have a few of you appearing in a short while. I know I've said that, but I haven't done it yet. I've just been very busy traveling quite a lot these last 4 weeks. So now you're gonna settle down a little bit, so we should be able to put it into practice. So until then, guys, have a beautiful Sunday. And as I usually would say, may the sun be with you guys. Take care. Bye.